I quit my job as an electrician, my 9-to-5 job, just over 1 year ago, and I've been completely unemployed since. I've gone through a few businesses, started a few online things, and I've ended up exactly where I am today. I'm going to talk you through everything that I've been through, some challenges that I've had to overcome, some things that I've done, and I'll give you some advice and some tips on things that I'd probably do differently or things that I wish I knew sooner, so you can do the same thing. You can take the same risk. You can start living a more fulfilled and happy life like I am today. Like I said, I was an electrician, so a sparky, I'd put lights in and run cables and climb around in roofs. So I sort of fell into being a sparky or an electrician just from school. I didn't always want to be an electrician. I didn't even really know what an electrician did, but I didn't really like school at all. So I left my high school and I went to a trade college because it just seemed like more fun. It seemed like I didn't have to do as much school work, which was very true. And I asked around and spoke to a few people, parents and things like that, and said, what's the best trade? Who earns the most money? That's all I really cared about, and I fell into electrician and knew that you're not like playing with shit or anything like a plumber. So I literally was just like, yep, all right, sick, I want to be an electrician. And went to the trade college, and luckily I had good enough grades from my younger years to actually get into or even qualify to start to be an electrician. I remember one day I was calling, so at this trade college you had to call up potential work experience bosses and companies and things like that, and I'd done probably 50 or 60 calls that day, like just straight cold calls of people from Yellow Pages and Google. And it was 3 o'clock and we leave at 3 o'clock, and I was like, all right, I'm done. I've made so many calls today, this is shit. One of the staff comes back in and gives me one more number, and she says, all right, call this. And I was like, no worries, I'll call it tomorrow. And she's like, just call it today, like just try your luck, last one. I was like, okay. So I called it, and my old boss answered, and he said, yep, no worries, come in for some work experience. So I was chuffed. Anyway, ended up doing work experience with him for about a year, and then got signed up and completed my whole trade there. So I worked for him for about 5 or 6 years, got qualified there until I eventually quit. Now, the life as an electrician was sick at the start, you know, and I loved it. It actually made me stop smoking, really made me focus, because I really wanted to make this my career. Like at the time I was like, yes, this is what I want to do. I want to own my own company. This is where I'm at, because I was just sucked into it. And anyway, the routine was just normal. You know, you're hanging out with people on job sites, everyone smokes, everyone swears. My company, I was pretty lucky at my company that I was in. We were all pretty young, energetic. We all went to the gym, but we all partied very hard and drank very hard on the weekends. It was just a normal thing to do. Like, that's just the sort of cycle you're in. You're like, okay, I'll work really hard, make sure I'm always good for work throughout the week, and then party really hard on the weekend, and then rest on Sunday, and then go to work Monday, do it all again. That's just literally how a tradesman works in Australia. So that's exactly what I was doing. That was my routine. I'd work all week, really hard, big days, long hours. I'd party really hard on the weekend because I had no time to do anything during the week. So I'd make up for it on the weekend and then go back to work on Monday and just stay in this constant cycle. Yeah, I mean, I was earning great money by the end of it. I was earning about 100K a year once I was qualified. Had a company car, didn't have to pay for fuel, didn't have to pay for rego, insurance, none of that. It was all covered. At this point, I had my own apprentice. I was running job sites. If anyone on the Gold Coast knows Q1, I actually managed the Q1 electrical, or all the maintenance electrical for the building. I had it like sorted out really in the terms of life and what I guess your parents and things tell you that is successful. But deep down, I knew that this is not really what I want to do, you know? I just knew that I was meant for more than that. I knew that I was meant for more than this cycle that I'd seemed to be stuck in, or felt stuck in anyway. I just wanted to try something else. So this sort of started to spark ideas in my head, like, what else can I do? And I actually really wanted to be a real estate agent. I mean, I can talk, I love talking to people, my people skills. I love selling, I love making money. So I actually really wanted to be a real estate agent, and I actually went and did some work experience at a real estate company and hated it. I was in a suit, we were in an office with not that many windows and in a place that I didn't really like, and it was dark, and I was like, this is shit. So I went and tried that and failed that, didn't like it at all, but now I know that I don't want to do that. So yeah, it started to spark things in my head like, what else can I do? How else can I make money? Like, I knew that I'd always be super successful, hyper successful. I just didn't know how or what was going to get me there. So as I did more research and, I started to get into personal development and self-development and learning and gym and things like this, just making myself better and feeling better about myself. And I started to slowly stop drinking and partying less and working on myself more and reading and meditating and doing all these things and just really leveling my own character up. And just started to get more into, the Mike Thurstons and the Iman Gadgis and people like that who are really just living the life that I now dreamed of living. The really turning point for me about where I was like, okay, I want to do this and I'm going to need to quit my job to do that. And by doing this, I mean like live the life that I dream of living. And I'm only going to get there by taking a risk to do it. And the risk was quitting my job and pursuing something that I had more passion in, pursuing something that I could make more money in. It was super scary, super daunting thing, but the actual turning point for me was 2023. I went over to Mike Thurston's first Dubai mastermind, and that really solidified it in my mind that this life that I dream of living, I can actually live. I was surrounded around people who were making really good money online. Mike Thurston was a big idol of mine. I looked up to him a lot. And to go and see him and meet him and see the life he lives and the people he hangs out with and the things he does, and just to realize that he's actually just a normal person just like me. Because you put these people that you idolize on a pedestal and you're like, oh, well, they must have all of these things. It's like, they don't, dude. Like, I'm just a normal person. Mike's just a normal person. The person that you idolize and look up to is just a normal person. They've gone through the same things that you have. We're all just human beings living life for the first time. So that really opened my mind, and I was like, okay, if I actually want to do this thing, I'm going to have to take some risks. I'm going to have to really lock in, and it can't be in the Gold Coast and it can't be being a Sparky. That's not how I'm going to get to this life. That really solidified that, okay, I want to find something else to do, and I want to do it online. I don't want to be locked into a certain place in the world. I want to be able to make money, and a lot of it, and do things online. And I fell into Iman Gadgis agency course actually, and I built an advertising agency, a Facebook marketing advertising agency. And to me, that was my ticket out. I was like, this is it. I'm sorting this out. I had the best mindset. I was like, yep, let's do this. I'm gonna make this work. This is it. That was my like, I was stoked with it. And I spent a lot of money on this course, and I was doing it perfectly and sorting everything out and making business names and logos and cold calling people, businesses, and learning ads and doing all the things, right? This was my ticket out. I was like, yo, let's go. So after that was sort of up and running, I was making no money yet, but it was up and running, and I was cold calling businesses and trying to get work and clients and sign them to retainers and make money that way, right? I actually went and approached my boss and said, yo, this is what I'm doing. Am I able to go part-time? So it started with part-time, and he's like, yeah, okay, no worries. Like, he was a great guy as well. Very, very cool about it all, which I was very fortunate for. So I ended up working 3 days a week as an electrician, and 2 days a week I had to work on my own business, which was so sick to me. I was like, wow, this is completely different. I was at home working on a laptop. It was so sick. Eventually, and after the mastermind in Dubai, I'd spoke to a few people and floated the idea, which my best mate and I had, to move over to Bali and really give it a crack. Like, as in just leave our jobs and just really give it a red hot crack. And everyone in Dubai was saying that you need to do that. you need to take the risk. You need to quit your job. You need to get in a place where the environment is full of successful people who are doing the same thing, making money online. Surround yourself around people who you want to be like, which really solidified moving overseas to me, which I can make a whole nother video on if you'd like. So I went part-time in my electrical job to build my agency with the intent to quit to move overseas. Now, this was super scary, super daunting. Like, this took a lot of courage and mustered up a lot of resilience to even come to this decision or think about this decision, because I'd never thought that way before ever. I was just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be a Sparky, I'm gonna make my business, I'm gonna live on the Gold Coast forever. I'm gonna have a kid and I'm gonna buy a house. Like that's where my mind was. So all of this stuff was new to me. I was like, what? So it took a lot of courage to even think that thought. Once that thought had been sort of moving around for a bit, I've given it a bit of energy, you know, it's a bit more solidified in my mind. I'd gone part-time with the intent to quit. What really put it into perspective for me was this, and try this out, do this. If you've got something that you want to do, like a big risk that you want to take, or you want to quit your job, or you want to pursue your passion, try this. I got this from the 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss, and it really said just to lay out exactly where you are right now. So I'll give you my example. Mine was, I'm a qualified electrician. I've got a company car. I'm paying, at this point I was paying rent, so I was living out of home, but I could always go back home. I earn about 100K a year. Okay, I've got a good amount of savings. Awesome. So that's exactly where I am right now. So you could do that for yourself. Lay out where you are right now, whether it be in your job, whatever risk you're looking to take. And if everything failed, so if you took that risk, for me it was moving overseas, if you took that risk and everything failed, like just nothing went right, you lost all your money, you had to come home, how hard would it be for you to get back exactly there? And I thought about that, and I was like, dude, it would take me one phone call. I could just call my old boss up. Hey, Lukey, yeah, it just didn't work out, man. Am I able to get my job back? And he'd go, yeah, no worries. Come in tomorrow. And it would take me one phone call to get exactly back to where I was. Just think about that for a moment, wherever you are. How hard would it be to get back to exactly where you are right now if you were to take this risk and everything failed? Sick perspective. So actually do that. So that really put it in perspective for me. I was like, okay, well, there's no real risk in this then. I mean, obviously there was, but to me, I'm like, one phone call and I'm back exactly where I am right now. Why would I not do this? So that really helped me actually take the leap and actually quit my job and actually pursue my passion and actually do the things that I wanted to do to then live the life that I dreamt of living. So at this point, I've quit my job, I've moved overseas. So not only do I not have a backup plan, not only am I not making any money, but I'm also in a foreign country overseas. So I sort of just threw myself in the deep end, but like I just said, there was no real risk to me. I was on the road to living the life that I dreamt of. And, you know, I've got a pretty strong mindset that I'd built over the years of training and personal development and working on myself. I was like, dude, I'm gonna make this work. There's no other option for me. But I did have that backup option if I needed it. But in my mind, I didn't need it. I was like, yo, let's freaking crush this thing. That's how I was thinking. So, you know, I definitely go through points of self-doubt and where you question yourself and you're like, what the fuck am I doing on those bad days? And especially when the funds start to get a little bit low, you're like, bro, what am I doing? Like, am I doing the right thing? Like all these things start, and scenarios and questions start to go through your brain, and you just have to like know the why you're doing it, you know? Like, you know the life that you've just left, Cody. So why are you even questioning if this is the right thing? It's like, you know that you don't like that. And that's the beauty of trying things as well. It's like, try a million things. It's going to be hard to find the thing that you love doing, but it's going to be super easy to find the thing that you hate doing. And that's awesome, just check that, awesome. Don't have to ever think about if I want to be a Sparky again, because I don't like doing it. So just try things and check those boxes off of things that you don't like doing. It's gonna make life so much easier. You know, in society's eyes or my family's eyes or people that I knew's eyes, I was a qualified electrician, earning good coin, had a company car with life sorted out in society's terms. I was successful. But I mean, in my life, and you know how you feel, you are the only person who knows how you feel and knows what you're going through and what you want to do and where you see yourself going and your passion and what that looks like to you to go all in. So you have to sort of drown out the noise, get rid of it, lock in, take everything else away. People, relationships, family, jobs, security, take all that away and just think, what is the best thing for me to do to get to the life that I want to live and be the person that I want to be? That is where all the source is, and just do what that tells you to do. And I mean, in regards to making money or finding my way or finding my path, I still haven't found it, you know, and that's perfectly fine. Like I'm a year in, I'm making it work. So I tried a fair few things, you know, like one was the agency, and I thought, yep, this is it. My heart wasn't in it. I didn't really like it. It wasn't my passion. I was sort of just doing it to make money, and I think that that's completely fine. But I left being an electrician because I didn't like being an electrician. I had money. I was making great money. I was comfortable. So in my eyes, I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. And I left that to build a self-development course, because I'd got myself out of a pretty deep rut and to the life that I was living at that point. And I thought, damn, I can help other people do this. So I built a whole course on self-development, which completely flopped and that failed. I then fell into online coaching. So I was more one-on-one, helping people change their life. That actually went quite well, and you know, I had a few really awesome clients, and we really made some dramatic changes in their life, which was so sick. And I made a bit of money doing that. I came back to Australia and I was still doing that, but you know, I sort of fell out of that as well because my heart wasn't really in it. And right now I'm using my social media and things like YouTube and my Instagram to work with some really cool brands and getting paid for it. So I'm on paid contracts with a few companies. That's how I'm getting by at the moment, you know, and that's what I'm doing to cover my living expenses, so then I can put more effort, more creative energy into finding and following my passion. And I don't know what that is yet, but that's perfectly fine, because majority of the world don't even know that they don't know. So by you taking a risk, by you pursuing something, by you going all in, that's a freaking great accomplishment in itself, because the majority of the world don't even want to take that risk. They're too scared to be uncomfortable. So by you even just taking that risk, you're one step ahead. By you taking risks, the universe is going to reward you with some pretty cool things. And you know, that the universe has definitely done that to me over the last year. Like, I cannot deny that the universe always has a plan, because it's put some pretty crazy things in my lap and shown me some pretty crazy things and introduced me to some pretty crazy people and gifted me some pretty crazy opportunities. So I know that I'm on the right path. You know, I'm not nowhere near where I plan to be, but I'm definitely in a happier and more fulfilled and more purpose-driven place than I was 1 year ago. And that to me is all that matters. And I think that that's all that should matter to you. It's not about money. It's not about any of this shit that society tells us it's about. It's about how you feel, because at the end of the day, you are the only person that matters in your life. Straight up, like, think about that. You are the only person who thinks about you as much as you do. So why would you not prioritize making that person happy, making that person driven, making that person fulfilled in what they do every single day? Like, I allowed myself to wake up and be excited to wake up and get into what I'm doing. I wasn't excited to go and be a Sparky, dude. No one is. You're not excited to go and freaking do whatever you're doing unless you really love being a lawyer, or you know, you have a really greater passion of being a vet and saving animals' lives or something like that. But majority of people, and myself included, are waking up and going to a job that they just put up with so they can earn money, so they can live life. That is fucking pathetic. So by taking the risk and going through everything that I've been through in the last year, I've allowed myself to live the life that I live today. And, you know, like I said, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm definitely on the path to get there. That I know for certain. I've met some really cool people. I'm doing some really cool things. I'm taking risks. I'm getting uncomfortable all the time. I live in my uncomfort zone, in my discomfort zone. The life I live today is 100 times better than the life I lived a year ago. And that's solely from taking risks and being uncomfortable and doing the scary thing, going against the norm, going against what society tells me to do. And to be completely honest, I probably work harder than I did back then anyway, because it's all on me now. No one else can carry the boats. No one else can move the ship forward. No one else can get this thing rolling other than me. So how hard I work determines how successful I will be. Therefore, and it's working on me anyway and my business and making money for myself. So it's like, why would I not put my 125% effort in every single day? And I'm excited to do so because my job now is creating content, inspiring people like yourself, making myself better. It's training, it's life documentation. Like, I love this shit. I get to train hard and inspire legends like you by doing the things that I love doing and making myself better anyway. Like, that's a freaking win, dude. I'm excited to wake up every day. That's the difference between myself now and myself a year ago. So a sort of day in the life for me now is pretty cool. I get to create my own schedule, which is still surreal to me. Like I said, the amount of work I do or the level of work I do directly affects how successful that I will be successful. So, you know, I wake up and I continue my daily routines that got me to where I am. I love routine. I'm a creature of habit. So I love doing the same things every day, and these same things will get me to where I want to go. So I wake up around 4 a.m. every day. First thing I do is ice bath, jump in the hot shower, meditate, and then journal, potentially have a coffee if I'm working out. I'll go and train then. I'm a morning trainer, so I love to get my gym sessions and runs and whatever in the morning. It's where I have the most energy. I then come back from training, have some breakfast, have another coffee or my first one, depending on how I'm feeling that day. Then jump straight into work. From there, I'll have some lunch and then back into work. Work consists of all things like reels creation, short form, long form, contracts, reaching out to brands, jumping on phone calls, all of this sort of stuff, planning, preparing for videos for days, what I'm going to record, who I'm going to see, how I'm going to do it, all of these sort of things. It's all just creative work, so I need myself firing. Then afternoon walk, which is sick. I live in like 100 meters from the beach, so my morning routine and afternoon routine are pretty elite in my books anyway, pretty beautiful. And then I have a nice healthy dinner and then sort of chat some shit with the lads and then go to bed, ready to do it all again. And, you know, obviously days change and things come up and I need to do things, but that's the beauty of how I live my life right now, is I can pretty much do whatever I want in a day. But the thing is that I love working and I love doing what I'm doing, so it doesn't feel like work. So I'm able to put, you know, a lot of hours into what I do per day, and it makes me feel good. Does that make sense? So I love the life that I live, and I can't wait to keep learning and growing and getting better and implementing the things that I learn and taking it to the next level and training harder and earning more money and inspiring more people and growing my socials more and working with cooler brands, eventually coming out with my own product, whatever that may be. I'm not sure, but I'm super freaking excited. And the only reason that I'm able to be sitting here recording a video and count this as work is because I took that initial risk. And that's exactly what I want this video to be for you. I want it to inspire you to potentially take a risk that you've sort of thought about for a while, but you're a bit scared of taking. And I understand, dude, it's freaking scary. But what else do you have to lose? Are you just gonna go through life and float around in the sea of mediocrity, or are you gonna make a change, dude? The choice is yours, but I'm telling you, if nothing changes, nothing changes. I know that there's a life that you dream of living. I know that there's a person that you dream of becoming. And that person in that life is not too far away. I mean, I'm 1 year in and I'm a lot more happier. I'm a lot more fulfilled in my day-to-day activities. And I know that you can be too. It just takes that first risk. The main things that I've learned from taking the risk, the initial risk to quit my job, is that taking risks is so important. And you need to live in a state of discomfort. In life, as humans, we're all too comfortable. I mean, right now I'm 30 something hours into a fast. Why? Because life's a little bit too comfortable. We just are blessed with food to eat and stuff our face all day long. So go through a little bit of uncomfort, go through a little bit of pain, like see that fear and face it head on and take the risk anyway and do the thing. That is the biggest learning that I've got from it. Another one would be trusting the process. The universe favors the bold. And what I mean by that is the more risks that you take, the more you will be rewarded. The universe will always have a plan for you, and no matter how much it sucks ass at the moment, no matter how scared you are, no matter how much stress you've got, it will always work out. Everything is meant to happen. Everything that happens for a reason. Nothing happens by mistake. So trust the process, take the risk, do the scary thing, lean into the fear, and you will be rewarded. I freaking promise you. And lastly is consistency is key. Just keep showing up, no matter what. Like, how bad do you want this life? How bad do you want to live that dream? How bad do you want to retire your parents, drive that car, live in that place? Think about that and just keep showing up. You know what is good and you know what is bad. You know what you need to do to get to where you want to go. So just do that every single day and you can't lose. The only way you can lose is if you quit. Just don't quit. Never give up. Keep pushing forward. Keep showing up. Consistency, consistency, consistency. And my advice for all of you who are going through this, and some things that I wish I did sooner, is get yourself a Google sheet and write down every single thing that you spend your money on in a month. Okay, so go through fuel, car insurance, rego, food, rent, subscriptions, medication, doctors, all of these things, anything you can think of that you spend your money on. Go through it all and write it out and calculate how much you spend a month. And then do everything you can in the shortest amount of time possible to make that money. So cover those expenses, right? Once those expenses are covered, you then have the rest of the time during your days, during your weeks, during your months to work on and find out your passion and work towards doing that and earning money from that and making that your main career or business or whatever it may be. So figure out how much you spend per month and cover those costs with a job or whatever it may be, like a part-time thing or whatever it is, and then use the rest of your time during your day and your month and your week to work on your passions and figure out how to turn it into making money and figure out how to do whatever it is you need to do to live the life that you dream of. I only did this recently with a good mate of mine, Willie, and I wish I did it sooner because I was just going willy-nilly, had no idea how much I was spending, had no idea how much I was earning, and it was sort of all over the place. But in order to live your dream life as fast as possible, you need to have a bit of structure around the money coming in and the money going out. So that is a massive piece of advice that I would give to my younger self or myself a year ago. And adding on to that is live below your means. And what I mean by that is you don't have to go and buy yourself shoes. You don't have to go and buy yourself clothes. Like, I haven't bought myself anything in over a year and a half probably. And it's perfectly fine. Like, I don't need new shoes. I don't need to buy myself a coffee every day. I have coffee at home. I can do all of these things. So cut your expenses and live below what you need to. Live below your means. And even when you start making more money, live below your means, because that's how you're going to build the money to invest into yourself, to invest into your business, to invest into your passion, to make something of yourself. So live below your means, track your expenses, cover those expenses, and use the rest of the time to go freaking all in on whatever it is that you love and whatever it is that you are passionate about, and make that shit work. Guys, I wanted to make this video because I know how much more happy I am living the life that I am today than I was a year ago. And I think that the world would be a better place if more people were going all in and more people were following their passions and living a life that they're actually excited to wake up and live. That is what it's all about, guys. Excitement. Stay excited. Get excited about what you're doing. Get fired up. Surround yourself around people who fire you up about it, who say, no, you're not going hard enough. Go freaking harder. Go more all in. Freaking leave the job. Do the thing. Really take the risk. Lean into the fear. Go into the discomfort. Everyone's freaking too comfortable these days, guys. Go against the norm, and I promise you that it will work out. Because the universe has a freaking plan in store, I'm sure of it. So feel the fear and do the thing anyway. Take the risk and you won't regret it. Guys, if you don't already, follow me on Instagram, _Cody Adams. Like, comment, subscribe. I hope that you got a lot of value out of this video, out of my story, out of the challenges, the advice that I can give you. I hope it fired you up. I hope it excited you to potentially take a risk in your own life so you can live the life that you do dream of living. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Mwah.